Well, hi everybody. She's back. Oh, I'm in a good mood today. I've been in a great mood all day today. I can't believe how close we are to getting over this. Not that it's all going to be gone, but let's all smile and celebrate and be in a good mood. In fact, after me and Whimsy talked today, I decided to have a little glass of champagne tonight. In fact, I had a couple of glasses after this. This is actually my third one, but I'll show you the size of the glass. They're very little. Like I have to apologize, but anyway. And I love this champagne, by the way. It's very cheap. You can catch it on sale for like $8 a bottle, and it's barefoot. And it comes in regular, they make a lot of wine, but this is the champagne, and it's the extra dry. And one of the things I love about it the most is I love the olives with the garlic and the onion in them. No, not garlic and onion. It's garlic and jalapenos in them. They're stuffed. I get them at Costco. You get the big jars, and stick a couple of toothpicks in it. I didn't do it to this one, and throw them in the bottom, and it makes it taste just like a dry martini with olives. And then the greatest thing is after you're through drinking your wine, you get to eat the olives. So they also make a Moscato champagne that's really good if you like it sweeter. The dry's not very sweet. But what I want to do tonight, first of all, is I want to do a shout out to Mark Rhodes. He's my new adopted son, grandson, whatever. He's not quite young enough. He's too old to be my grandson, but I have children his age. And he's one of my very bestie friends that I've met since I've been doing this. All I wanted for years was some like-minded people. And I know, before I get off on this, I got to show you something he gave me. He gave me this for my birthday. And I had forgotten how wonderful it was. You've heard me talk about being a massage therapist. And the friend I had met after I got up here, a male friend, who was also a massage therapist, but we gave each other massages for 5 years, and then he had a blood clot, and anyway, then he had a blood clot and transitioned. And it was quite a shock, and it wasn't like we were hot girlfriend and boyfriends. He was just a male friend of mine, and we gave each other massages for 5 years, but he was one of the kindest people I ever met. But anyway, so with the COVID and everything, I hadn't found anybody else to trade with. And I don't know, if you're used to getting massages, especially at my age, if somebody knows what they're doing, there's nothing more healing for you. I mean, it heals your whole body up. But anyway, to make a long story, I'm going on and on and on, like most Libras. In a minute, I want to talk about Libras too, because I'm not putting this down. But anyway, I got to show you what he got me for my birthday. My birthday was last October, and it is without a doubt the neatest thing I ever had in my life. And it's not plugged in now, so I can't turn it on. But it's a massager, and it goes around your neck. And it's got 4 big balls in here. And it's got 3 speed adjustments, and I like it on low. And they also stop and go the other direction, which you can tell because it's usually it amazes me because they got it down pretty good, because it's just about when it's time for it to switch, it switches. But it's even got a heat deal on it if you leave it long enough. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this, and you put your arms through it. And then you can even put it sideways down your blades or across the back of your neck, or let it drop down low. But anyway, this is one of the neatest gifts I've ever had in my life, and I want to thank him for it. And I also want to thank him for hooking me up with Whimsy, because I was very enamored of her, and always have been. But he introduced us, and he asked whatever. I just want to thank him for being kind, And he's also like one of my adopted kids. I just absolutely love this man. He is the most generous, loving, kindest person, one of them I've ever met. So that's for Mark Rhodes, and I just want to thank him. So then, and I just dropped all my paperwork on the floor. Not all of it, but most of it. Just a second. I want to talk just a little bit about Libras. I've had a lot of people think I'm putting Libras down because I'm a Libra. There's no other birth sign I'd rather be. My mom was a Libra. My dad was a Libra. Many of my cousins, nieces, and nephews. It's amazing how many Libras I have in my family. But I do have to admit, at least in my family, the biggest problem we ever had is making up your mind about anything. And then I've never been really good about keeping records or anything. I write stuff down, but not to save. I just use it at that time, and then I can't stand any clutter around, so I dispose it. And if I wrote it down in a notebook, I wouldn't be able to read it anyway. The only things I've kept is some automatic writings I've done when I've been doing automatic writing at times over the years, and some other dreams and stuff because they were so significant. But anyway, I'm not putting down Libras. They're God's most wonderful people. They're usually always kind and loving and very giving. And very smart. We're all a little hard-headed. But anyway, I wanted people to know. I've had a lot of people say, oh, quit putting Libras down. Well, I'm not putting Libras down. I absolutely love them and feel very comfortable with them. But I know with a mom and a dad and me being a Libra, by the time it was just four of us, my sister had already moved out, and my brother, he was a Taurus who also shared the same planet as Libra. But usually the hardest, if we did decide to go out to dinner, the hardest thing that we'd done in 3 weeks was decide where to go. So anyway, it was funny. It was ridiculous. It was so funny. But it was nice. It was nice. And I also want to say that I've had a lot of people complain about the sound. And my nephew's nephew who helps me with this, his name is Dan. He lives across the other side of San Diego, and I don't like to bother him too much, but I talked to him, and he ordered a different mic for me. And the mic and the batteries and the ear dills to see how loud it is, not that I'm going to wear them, but you can check it to see how you sound, came in, but I guess it's like a transformer or something that they all plug into. It didn't come in yet. So it was supposed to come in today. I don't know why, because the other stuff got here so quick. It got here in less than 8 hours after it was delivered. He ordered it in the middle of the night, and it was here the next morning. But the other part that said it would be here in 3 days, they said would be here today, and it didn't come today. Or if it did, they delivered it to somebody else's apartment. But anyway, I'll figure out that tomorrow. And now I'm going to quit jabbering and thank everybody for being here. And it's a wonderful night. We've just got a little more than 24 hours till the biggest nightmare is over. And I also want to thank everybody that's watching this channel. And thank you so much for watching it. And thank you for your donations. Thank you for wanting to read it. But I just can't tell you how much comfort you've given me. To have a chance to talk to you and to have a chance to interact with you on the phone when I do readings at this time in my life. It's been such a joy, and I just wanted everybody to know that. And so anyway, I thought it was kind of funny that we got thousands of troops in the Capitol tonight to protect us against the Republicans. And I realize at the time it's not all Republicans, but still it's kind of ridiculous. And I think Whimsy's probably right. It's probably just the Confederates trying to take over. Um, anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it looks like they're going to do a really good investigation on this, and thank God that our government's changing hands. And another thing, that the reason I thought I was going to have a little glass of wine with this reading is I just want to celebrate getting dignity back into the White House, to get a president that people don't have to be ashamed of. And it's just so wonderful. And even if he wasn't a lot of ours maybe first pick or whatever, so far he's done a great job running, and he's did a great job preparing for this since the nomination, and I think he'll do great. And I'm so glad that that dignity's being restored to the White House. I'm going to ask a question I've asked 1,000 times in these readings, but everybody wants me to ask it one more time. And, you know, we know that a lot of the GOP was right in the middle of this stuff. And they were so adamant about everything Trump did, even if they knew that it was horribly wrong. And why? And is it to keep the truth coming out of where money was coming to them from, or what? So I'm just going to ask this, flipping this pen, I flipped the end off of it. I guess it doesn't matter that much. Anyway, let's see. How can I ask this? Let's ask it by just an open-ended question. Are some of the Republicans in the House and also in the Senate involved with this Confederacy that's trying to take over our White House? Were they in on it? We'll just ask if they were in on it. We're not going to go into how much money they got from Russia or payoffs or anything. Are they in on it? Are some of the Republicans in the House and the Senate in on this? We'll look and see. Gee whiz, half of them. The signifier here is the Two of Pentacles. Some of them's really doing some backtracking to try to prove that they're not. I didn't bring my glasses with me, but that's all right. I'm not blind, just kind of blind. To really doing some backpedaling here to try to prove they're not in on this or didn't know anything ahead of time. So that's telling me, yes, there is some in there. And yes, they're going to be found out. Look at this. Right out in the cold. The foundation is they thought they could keep this secret. So I think this is answering that other question I was asking, is they were so desperate to back him because they didn't want the truth to come out, I think, and I feel like where they were getting a lot of their money from, and why they were voting and pushing for what they were pushing for and backing this man. And here's the man. Wouldn't you know? Boy, these cards are working great tonight. So this is Trump. That's who they were backing right up to just a few days ago. Let's see what's going now in the present. Uh-oh. Now the whole world can see what was going on. The whole world watching this and watching them. So maybe they're not going to be able to back him so much anymore. Remember, this is about the Republicans. Biden's coming in with a big stick. And he never reminded me of the type of man that would come in with any kind of stick. But I keep thinking kick ass and take names. kick ass and take names. So that's where he's coming from here. Excuse me just a minute. I'm going to have another little drinky here. What did I call it? Giggle juice? Or that's pretty good. That's a really dry there. So yeah, Biden's coming in to kick ass, take names. Some of their Republicans really thought they were going to push this through and what? Take over the government? Have a total insurrection? Who did they think was going to rule it? Were they going to put Trump and his family in it till all of them died off? What in the F were they thinking about? But they had intentions. They had definite intentions to keep them out of trouble and to keep this fallacy going. Keep something going here. And now, behind the scenes, maybe in person in a park where nobody can hear them, they're going round and round and round trying to figure out how they're going to get the F out of this. They don't know how they're going to get out of it, but they're in it up to their little brown balls. They're in it. Something's going to come out maybe about the reasons they're in it. Maybe they didn't want to share any money with anybody unless it was people that already had money. Their hopes and fears, I'm sure they weren't hoping to give money out to the poor. I think that their legislation and everything else was more about taking money away from the common man and giving it to the rich, like part of the Confederacy or something. And they definitely thought they were getting the White House again. Yeah. So they're going to find out that there was Republicans in on this. They're trying to figure out how to get out of being found out. They're going to end up being out in the cold when their secrets come out about how they were in on Trump, trying to take over the United States. The world's going to find this out. Biden's going to come in and do a deep dive in an investigation. And no matter how much bickering they do between themselves, they're not going to get out of it. And they're not going to get the White House again ever. Maybe ever. I wouldn't care if they ever got it. But anyway, if they do, it will be very many years and after some kind of reconstruction. I don't think they'll ever just get it back. So that's my reading on that. So I did have some other people. I wrote it down. Where did I write it? That wanted to what did they want to know? I think one wanted to know about Pompeo. I talked on Whimsy's channel about waking up 2 mornings ago with my guides telling me to pray for Fox News, and I thought I'd lost my frickin' mind. But they didn't want me to pray for the people on there or what the propaganda they were pushing. They just wanted me to pray for new management and for them to come in and start really doing news, even if it was biased to the right, at least real news and not lies. So you know, the power of prayer is really strong. So you may think I'm crazy, but why don't everybody pray for Fox News? Not to, you know, not that they make more money or get more advertisers, but they start running a real news program, so the people that I know and love, and I'm sure all of you know and love that watch it all the time, can start really hearing what's going on in the world. That would be so wonderful. So anyway, I never thought I'd ever say that. Don't want you to think I've gone batshit crazy. But anyway, maybe I have. When I woke up and my guides were telling me that, I thought, this isn't real. I even looked around the bedroom. I thought, am I in my bedroom? I thought maybe I'd crossed over. But anyway, that was funny. It was almost, well, and then I got up and came in the other room and watched just a few. I usually watch about 7 or 8 minutes of Morning Joe, even though it's not really my greatest cup of tea, but sometimes there's information on there I haven't gotten from anywhere else. And then when I went over to YouTube, the first thing that flipped up was Fox News losing money, losing sponsors, worst ratings in years. And I thought, oh, okay. And then my guides were talking to me about something. So anyway, the people that wanted me to read, believe it or not, on Roger Stone, Mike Flynn, Mike Pompeo, and Ivanka. Well, I don't have time to read on all of them because I've been jabbering too much. So let's read on, I am kind of interested in Roger Stone. I don't know if he's going to try to give him one of those pardons or what, but let's read. I'm going to skip Mike Flynn. I think I've read on him quite a bit lately, so I'm going to mark him out and read on Roger Stone, Mike Pompeo, and Ivanka. For some reason, she's really coming into light. I guess they're already pushing this, going against Rubio in Florida. I hope they're barking at the moon. So anyway, let's do Roger Stone real quick first. I'm just going to do 4 cards across on him to get it done fast. We're not going to go into a 21 gun salute here. Okay, so this is Roger Stone. He's definitely in on something, in on some kind of plan, right? Promoting it, and maybe he was promoting this whole insurrection. Could have been. He was right there with him, definitely. He may end up in jail. He's worried about being in jail. He knows he got out of there once, but he's already thinking that he may be going back there before this is over. Because he may be one of the biggest assholes ever walked this earth, especially in our government or trying to help people in our government. He's definitely, what would you call it? Definitely one of the worst people. So he's worried about going to jail. I wasn't going to do a whole one. He's wondering if he'd be strong enough to survive jail. I'll just do it real quick since I started it this way. He has talked to some lawyers about this already. They're not sure where he might stand. He might even make an offer to talk more before this is all over. For his age and what's going on, he's going to have a heavy load to carry before this is over. There's going to be somebody ratting him out. People around him are going to jump all over him. Everybody's going to be turning on everybody in this. He's hoping, got the fool here, knowing that was the stupidest thing he ever did was to get on in this. And there's all kinds of subpoenas or something coming toward him. Something going to toward him. A bunch of stuff coming toward him. And then I pulled one more here, and this shows he's wishing he'd never got involved in this. He wished he'd just stayed where he was. Finally got to a safe haven and jumped right back in it. And actually thinking about even going overseas. So that's Roger Stone. Mike Pompeo. Or no, I marked, yeah, Mike Pompeo. It was Michael Flynn that I marked off of there. I hope he ends up back in there too. I bet you he will if he don't end up getting, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen right now. But let's read on the biggest dick of, one of the biggest dicks of them all is Mike Pompeo. See what he's up to. So, and then we'll do Ivanka, or I like I say, I love the way Johnny says that, Ivanka. He's got a way to say that you can almost see the treachery in her soul. I love to hear him say that. But anyway, let's Mike Pompeo, let's do it. One more. Mike Pompeo. Oh, and somebody else, and I had her written down, that somebody did a donation to my channel the last couple of days, and I wanted to thank her. The name sounded like a woman, and I'm so sorry that I don't have it right in front of me, but I wanted to let you know that I appreciated it so much. And thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna do Mike Pompeo. Okay, Michael. He knows he's in deep, deep shit, because there's going to be a deep, deep look into everything he's been up to, and I'll tell you right now, it was no good. He'll be really, really lucky if he don't end up in jail. At least he's going to be in some kind of criminal court. He's going to be in trouble with the law for a long time. Let's see how it goes. He's going to try to make a deal, but I think he's too late to make a deal. Way, way too late to make a deal. I think all these guys are going to be jumping ship and want to tell all, but I think they've waited too long. He still thinks he has a way to get out of this. He's delusional. He doesn't. He's not going to get out of this. I'll tell you that right now. Trying to stash some money away. Trying to figure out how much it's going to cost him with lawyers. Like I said, this goes with the victory card. He still, in his heart, thinks he's going to get out of this if he does it right. But he's not. He's going to even have people around him turning on him. So it can't be who jumps ship first, or who wants to be the first pig to squill. They're all squilling, so I don't think it's going to help him. Boy, this Queen of Swords keeps coming out, and I know that the Vice President, and she's really good at her job of prosecuting people, and I know that I really have faith that her and Biden won't get into this. But there's some female prosecutor that is coming after his ass big time. And he'll be lucky before he's through if he don't get involved, get hooked up for treason some way. So is this going to be his plan? Looky here, we got the jail card too. After the holdup, we got the jail card, and we got him going down the river. I think he's going to end up in jail from these cards. From these cards here, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him do literal jail time. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I'm being kind of facetious tonight, but we all get to be that way every once in a while. So, I notice I keep winking. That happens when if I have 2 drinks of alcohol, I can't talk without winking. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. And so the next one we're going to do really quick, and we're going to do Ivanka, who, from what the inside says, who can cuss like a sailor, which I'm not putting her down for that. So can I, after spending half my life working with sailors. That bar was right outside a Navy base. The DC Desert Club. Anyway, also, I guess a total brat. You know, I'm sure y'all heard the deal about the 6 bathrooms, and she wouldn't let any of the Secret Service use any of their bathrooms, so they had to go rent a basement in the house next door for her Secret Service guys to go to the bathroom that were watching over her and her family. What a nice person. That's just what we need back in office. People that nice. Anyway, let's see what's coming up with the Princess of Darkness here. Well, I don't think she's going to have to worry about running for office when all these secrets come out about her and her dad and all their shenanigans and all the money that went this way and that way. And I think this is money that got socked away, and maybe the people's money, since it's coming up right so quick here. People will really celebrate. They're tired of her bullshit. From what's been going on in the past, she's going to be lucky if she's not totally out in the cold, and that's financially and physically. There's some strong implications coming in on her. This is in the sky, 5th house. She's already trying to figure out how she's going to manipulate this. Talk about all the Republicans are trying to figure out how they're going to manipulate this into their favor. She really thinks she's going to come out victorious. She thinks she's going to skate out of this some way at the present. That doesn't mean she's going to. She thinks she's going to. That's her. But when the secrets come out, she's not going to be able to. There's too many people around her that are things that come out that know what's been going on. Justice is right on her ass. Also, it's going to shine a light on what they've been doing. That's her biggest fear. She's also got the Hangman in the 10th house, and which is the outcome. And the world will be watching, still be interested in what happens to her. So we got the 7 of Cups here. I drew an extra one to see, try to confuse the rest of the world of what's really been going on. You know what though, but we got the Russia card here. So that's what's going to show up. It's going to show up that a lot of the money, a lot of the other stuff that come through from around the world to help them try to do this resurrection. Resurrection. Okay, no more alcohol for you. Insurrection. It came from Russia. In some way, she's going to be tied in with that more than the other Republicans. Of course, we're not reading on the House and Senate. We're reading on the first daughter. Something she signed, something she did. She's going to try to confuse it, but it's not going to work because the information's going to come from abroad. And I just want to draw one more card. The 9 of Pentacles with the Bird of Paradise. I don't think there's any way in God's green acres that she could pull this off. theft and money and help from overseas for her and her dad. So I'm going to stop there. It doesn't look good at all for her. And I'm glad it doesn't look good for her, because it is what it is. We should get rid of any resentment, and we all feel like, we got PTSD or whatever, that we've gone through this shock for 4 years of getting up in the morning and being afraid to turn the news on. And it's going to get better. It's going to get wonderful. And anyway, I want to thank everybody that's watched this. I want to thank everybody. If anybody wants a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. Send me an email and I'll get back to you, and we'll get you set up with an appointment. And I love all of you, and I just want to thank you for coming in and for watching this channel, and all the comfort you've given me. Thank you so much. Night now. Namaste.